Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. And this is the true story of the Three Little Pigs. I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny who had a terrible sneezing cold when I ran out of a cup of sugar. So I decided I would walk down to my neighbor's house, who happened to be a pig, to ask for a cup of sugar. Now, he wasn't the brightest pig because he built his whole house out of straw. I mean, who in his right mind builds a house of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I called, little pig, are you in there? No answer. That is when my nose started to itch. And I started to huff. And I started to snuff. And I, achoo, sneezed. A great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell right in. And there was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. I mean, it seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there, so I ate it up. You know, think of it as a giant cheeseburger just laying around. So I still didn't have my cup of sugar, which I needed to make my birthday cake for my dear old granny. So I decided to go to the next house, who was the first little pig's brother. Now, he was a little bit smarter because he built his house out of sticks. I rang the doorbell, but nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in there? And you know what he yelled back? Go away, Wolf. I am shaving the hairs on my chinny chin. Now talk about rude. Then all of a sudden, I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, achoo, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you are not going to believe this, but there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Well, you know how food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do, and I had a dinner. Think of it as a, second helping. So I still did not have my cup of sugar for my dear old granny that I needed to bake the cake for. So I went to the next house, who just happened to be the first and second little pig's brother. Now this guy must have been the brains of the family because he built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the door, but no one answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in there? And do you know what that rude little porker answered? Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again. Well, talk about impolite. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card when all of a sudden I felt a sneeze coming on. I huffed and I puffed and I, achoo, sneezed again once more. And you know what that rude little pig yelled out? And your granny can sit on a pin. Oh, now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow. But when somebody talks about my granny that way, I get a little crazy. Well, when the cops drove up, I was trying to break down that pig's door for saying the rude stuff he did to my granny, and the whole time I'm huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. Well, the rest, they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two little pigs I had for dinner and figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound exactly exciting. So they jazzed up the whole story with the huffing and puffing and blowing your house down. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But, maybe you can lend me a cup of sugar